Over 10 days and 435 miles, an unbreakable bond forms between professional adventure racer Michael Light, Mark Wahlberg, and a stray companion dog named Arthur. Based on an incredible true story. Michael is a competitor who never gives up, but he often ends up being his own worst enemy because he doesn't pay attention to his team, causing them to lose despite his skills. Years later, Michael is still always training and has a beautiful family with his lovely wife Helen and their daughter. However, he now works in real estate with his father. It's not his passion, but he needs a job to support his family, so he has to make a living. Michael craves adrenaline, but his pursuit of excitement is hurting his family because he's being selfish. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, there are stray dogs suffering without a home. Michael is stuck in the past, having competed for 19 years, but everyone remembers him for the time he got buried in mud for leading his team poorly. Helen tells him that doesn't define him and encourages him to compete again to regain his joy and passion for life. Michael gets back in the game and starts looking for team members and sponsors. However, nobody wants to support him due to his poor track record. Olivia, one of the best climbers in the country, will be on his team if he can convince her to join. Olivia only agrees because her father told her to. The sponsors are not convinced due to Michael's record, but he's determined to prove he can win. The sponsors agree to support him with $50,000, but he also has to include competitor Leo Sam on his team. Leo Sam and Michael aren't on good terms because Leo posted a photo criticizing Michael as a terrible leader, blaming him for their loss. The sponsors insist on including Leo Sam, and Leo demands that Michael admit his ego caused their previous failure. Leo is now part of the team, and they're ready to compete in the national race. The competitors prepare for the intense training and the world's most competitive race, based on a true story, where they will cover at least 700 kilometers. Michael is ready for the competition, and his wife's only request is that he returns safe and sound. Meanwhile, the stray dogs struggle to find a bit of water and food, living a harsh life. Our canine friend is intelligent and persistent, fighting for his life despite being tired and dirty from having no home. As the race begins, Michael must listen to his team to avoid failure. Olivia reveals that her father is dying of cancer, motivating her to win for those who believe in them. The first stage covers 47 kilometers in the jungle, and each competitor chooses their path. Most reach the first transition area, then continue the rest of the kilometers on bicycles. There, they encounter our canine friend again. How did he get there? Michael offers him some meatballs, and the tired dog joins them as they continue the mountain race on bicycles. Michael's team consists of Olivia, Leo Sam, and Chicky. Chicky has had knee problems in the past but is giving his best effort. They take a shortcut through an old zip line, risking it all because without risk, there's no reward. Olivia gets stuck, and Michael bravely rescues her by having her cling to his bike. The adventure continues with everyone safe, and the stray dog seems to be competing too. Michael's team catches up with the leading team thanks to the zip line shortcut, but the race has just begun. The hardest part lies ahead, with little rest as they traverse the jungle in the dark, rainy night. Michael throws his phone at Leo Sam in frustration, sparking a fight, but the stray dog, who has been following them for 300 kilometers, shows up and joins them. Chicky slows down due to knee pain, but the dog stays with the group. Once again, they take a shortcut along a trail. This time Leo goes a different way, but the little dog warns him not to walk any further. It turns out that the death cliffs are at the edge of a precipice, and it has saved their lives, earning itself many meatballs. Olivia's feet are already torn apart, but now they are more determined than ever to continue. But how did the dog get there? They have used zip lines, climbed, used bicycles, but he got there on his own. Then the dog goes down another path, but they decide not to follow him and go another way. However, the dog has returned. It only went to relieve itself. What a polite little dog. Now there are 5 in the group, and the dog has reached them up to stage 9, where they must cover 44 kilometers. But then Leo Sam becomes dehydrated, so they feed him. However, the dog doesn't ask for food. He's calm, only eating if given. So they decide to call him King Arthur, as they give him meatballs fit for a king. Arthur shows no signs of tiredness, while Leo Sam can't go on anymore. But they manage to get help to cross the river in a boat. However, they are now behind, and Leo Sam has fallen ill, so it's time for a break. Arthur is also injured, but he's the strongest lad on the team. Meanwhile, Olivia's father only has 4 months left to live, so she's fighting for him, leaving a legacy. It's also Michael's last chance, and he's put $25,000 from his own pocket to compete. So everyone is fighting for something, some for money, others for pride, for achieving a passion. So they go on another lap, while Michael's wife watches everything he does. Now they are in the lead, leaving the other teams behind. But let's see who can endure more pain to reach the finish line. They have reached the boat competition, but they are forbidden to take Arthur, so they have to leave him on the beach. Michael tells him he has no choice, although Arthur's heart is broken, as he wants to go with them. Everyone gears up for the adventure to reach the finish line first, but Arthur refuses to give up and follows them tirelessly, throwing himself into the water to swim. The poor thing wants to follow them at all costs, no matter what happens. Michael asks Leo Sam to stop, as they don't leave anyone behind. They are so close to winning, but Arthur can't take it anymore. He starts to drown, utterly exhausted. They manage to rescue Arthur, and they are losing, but it doesn't matter, they have to save their team members. Arthur fights for his life, and they fight to take him and reach the finish line. They have hours of journey left, but they have to reach the finish line no matter what, even if they have no strength left. Despite having all the odds in their favor to come in first, they decided to save their furry friend, so they ended up coming in second place, with Arthur leading the team. Our dog friends are incredible. Even though they didn't win first place, they gained something better than a competition. They gained a friend for life, someone loyal. But Arthur can't go on anymore, so he faints. Arthur has many infected wounds, a parasite eating his flesh, and he has suffered great abuse in his life. His teeth are rotten, so every bite he takes hurts a lot. So it's best to let him die, and there are no permits to take the dog out of the country to have him operated on elsewhere. They need a permit from the local government to take him to another country, but they advise them to sacrifice him. So the time has come, but Arthur wants to fight. So Michael also fights to rescue him, but Arthur is scared when they were about to enter a house. What have they done to him to make him afraid to enter a closed place? How much abuse has he suffered? So Michael accompanies him to sleep on the street, as Arthur feels safer there. At the airport, everyone supports Michael to take the great King Arthur to do the paperwork for the permit to take him out of the country. They've succeeded, so another journey is coming up, but the airport staff wants to take him in a cage. So he has to enter the cage or he won't get on the plane. But Arthur is terrified of entering enclosed spaces, but this time he manages to do it because Michael asks him to. Arthur stays crying, but it's the only way. The journey is over, but Arthur doesn't move, so he has to be carried. Now he needs a miracle, as he is very weak. Everyone knows Arthur already and sends money for the operation. Also, Michael got another big surprise. Another baby is on the way. But Arthur is dying, and the doctors don't know if they'll survive. But Arthur can't take it anymore. 18 months later, Michael walks the roads again with his great friend King Arthur. The king couldn't die like that. He's a great fighter and competitor. He's no longer afraid to enter a house and is now part of a beautiful family.